What do the following have in common? A best friend, a mentor, a nutritionist, a doctor, a personal trainer, a business consultant, an accountant, a financial advisor. Well, take a guess. Well, we have all kinds of people on our support teams, but we often overlook one of the most important members. That person who reminds you consistently of your true north and helps you get there. Today, I'm going to take on why we need a good intuitive reader or coach or therapist or spiritual advisor in our lives on an on-call basis to help us stay on path and really show you and share with you what a critical role they actually play in our mental, emotional, and spiritual health. Our lives are best when lived in teams. So let's take a look at this one particular aspect of the teams in our lives that most of us, or many of us, have kind of sidelined or aren't really, topped off, because it can be the most important area of all for your healthy functioning, your joyful existence, and frankly, just to know where you're going inside yourself and your life.
Flowdreaming, still kinda woo-woo, is just what it sounds like. An escape into the world of woo. Also, a ride into you and how to feel happier, wiser, and more self-aware in every way. It's your ultimate journey into personal growth and inner power. We'll explore ideas like how your energy self influences the kinds of opportunities you encounter, or how your personal growth can drive your business growth, or even how that feeling of being stuck is really always coming from something else. We just have to figure out what. That's right, we're a dash of woo-woo, a sprinkle of self-care, a heap of problem-solving and pattern-busting, and a giant cup of encouragement. We're going to relight so much passion, purpose, self-love, and confidence in you that you practically stagger. I'm Summer McStravick, your host, and welcome to Flowdreaming, still kinda woo-woo.
So a couple of years ago, sorry, not a couple, a long time ago, everything is like a few years ago, even though it's 10 years or 15, it's just, you know how things blur, right? A couple of years ago, I remember giving my first class to a group of my students about the importance of teams in our lives. And I said, who is on your spiritual team? Who is on your health team? Who is on your career advancement team? And I really wanted us to look deeply into where are we doing it by ourselves, solo, and where have we actually put supports in, or people, professionals, anybody that can help us, that we can lean on or lean into or grow from or learn from. So I'm going to fast forward this to today. There is one particular aspect of team that has been really drawing my eye lately, and that has to do with your psychic team, your intuitive team, your spiritual advisor, your coach, your religion, your pastor, etc. This is an area of our lives that we tend to kind of downplay most of the time, most of us. And yes, we will get ourselves to a therapist when things have really come crashing down and we realize our mental health is sliding. But otherwise, we treat this team as a luxury. And it's so weird to me. It's very weird to me. And I guess part of this has come up because recently I've started taking master's level classes in psychology. I'm not going to admit yet that maybe I'll end up in being a therapist or something someday. Who knows? But I am curious, and so I began taking these classes just to support my inner knowing with what else have people said or written about this. What's the body of knowledge? And I began to see very clearly that the realm of therapy, the world of therapy, is so different than the world that I've occupied for 20 years. Right? I'm a spiritual mentor, a success coach, an intuitive, an empath. So I wanted to break down in particular 4 different kinds of people or roles that can be on this team of yours. The team that's devoted to your emotional health and wellness, the team that's devoted to your ability to excel, to become wildly successful, to know that you did a dang good job in this life, like you lived your path. Who are they? What are the differences between them? So that's what we're going to look at right now. And I want you to ask yourself, look around. Who do you have? Who would you want to have? Why don't you have them? And who could they be? So first of all, talking about a good psychic reader, spiritual, psychic, medium, intuitive, maybe it's an astrologer, numerologist, anybody who's in sort of the predictive arts or has the ability to read other people's minds and places and circumstances. Maybe your oracle card reader, etc. The reader's job is to see things that are coming, to discover hidden truths, and really to help you get connected to higher guidance, to show you stuff that you really can't see or may need to see soon, and this is your heads up on it. Your intuitive guide, your reader, your medium, can help you stretch your thinking beyond your normal day-to-day traffic of, bedtime and wake up time and food time and work time, etc. This advisor is able to help you spool forward into the future. If I do this, what will happen? If I choose that, where will it go? What's getting in the way of blah, blah, blah? A great reader can do all of that. Now, how is that different than a coach? Everybody talks about coaches nowadays. It's become, such a thing. A coach, and believe me, there are many kinds of coaches: success coaches, spiritual coaches, health coaches, relationship coaches, career coaches. They very much niche down. But your coach is similar to a reader in that they can see directions and opportunities that you can't. But their knowledge often comes from a deep wellspring of experience, right? They're not reading energy or reading communication from outside, from spiritual. They are reflecting back on what they've seen, gone through, what's worked for them, what hasn't. And they're looking at your situation and saying, oh, yes, I've been there. Oh, here's what you do in this circumstance. It's a way to have someone that you can fall back on, no matter what you're falling into. Right? Their job is to navigate you through adversity, to help you develop a solid path or plan for success. I mean, I'm speaking from my particular specialty as kind of a success coach, to help you regain inner wellness and balance and to find the North Star of happiness for you in your life. Like, what is the point of all this? Where are we going? What's getting in the way? I'm tired of being unhappy. I'm tired of feeling behind. I'm tired of feeling like it's not working for me. What do I need to do? And your coach is there to say, this is what you need to do. It's a very forward-facing, future-facing kind of person if you have them on your team. They are not concerned what happened with you when you were 2 and getting potty trained. They are solely focused on what's broken right now and can we remove that and push forward, and where do you want to push forward to? Therapists. So one thing I've noticed quite a bit being in a lot of the classes that I'm in nowadays is that therapists, again, and I'm 3 out of 4. I am not a therapist, so please forgive me if you are a therapist and I'm not explaining this correctly. But from what I see, therapists particularly are good at working with trauma, right? They're able to help you manage that emotional or mental illness or maladaptation or dysfunction or whatever you want to call it. They're going to help you discover healthier coping mechanisms, return you to functionality, create a safe space and structure for, say, working through issues in a relationship. Basically just developing healthier relationships with your own self and with others. Therapy is fabulous at that. Now, can you see how that's different than a coach? A coach is like, where are we going? Why aren't you going there? What's getting in the way? Let's remove that. And you say, well, it's my self-confidence, it's my sense of worthiness, or it's my fear of ruffling feathers, or this or that, right? It can feel like therapy, but there's truly a different emphasis. The emphasis is, how can we make you better? How can we make you fantastic? How can we make you feel that you are truly on the path that you want to be on? Therapist, contrast, is, why does this keep taking down your life? Why does this keep making you feel broken? Why does this keep making you feel unconfident? So, two sides of the same coin, but maybe you need one more than the other. I don't know. This is you. Maybe you just need a good reader. Which brings me to the fourth kind of person to have in your life. And this is the spiritual person. This is maybe not a reader of any type or an intuitive. Maybe this is just your pastor. Maybe this is your preacher, your priest, your whoever it is that you're following and listening to when you go into congregation with others and you listen and you reflect on who you are and what your values are. And they're helping you really develop those long-term questions about your purpose, your life, the meaning of why we're all here and what we're supposed to be and do for each other. Right? Your rabbi is supposed to help you develop faith and connection in something larger than just your own self. And to feel soothed and content with how things actually are. Right? That there is a divine plan and a divine direction. Your spiritual person on your team is going to give you parameters that say, if you do things within this group, you are a good person. If you do things without that, beyond that, you may not be a good person. And I don't mean to introduce judgment into this, but by good person, I mean the things you do that are approved, that we've written down and are sharing. They're going to make you feel good. They're going to make you feel excellent and probably lead to a happy life. If you're not doing those things, if you're doing those other things, you're probably going to experience negative emotion or remorse or guilt. Right? It has nothing to do with sin or heaven and hell and all that. It's just, we don't want you feeling remorse or guilt or unhappiness. So think about these four: reader, coach, therapist, or spiritual partner. Who's on your team? Do you have any? Do you have any that you see and utilize consistently? The more people filling these specific necessary roles in our personal village, the more you have to lean on, the more you're able to grow, the more you're able to see into areas of yourself and your life that your normal day-to-day just doesn't let you. It's the difference between running around in a closed, dark Amazon box, like a little rat, and someone opening up the top of the box and going, oh my God, there's a sky, there's more, there's more out there, let's go. That's why having one or more of these kinds of people on your team, and what I mean by team, maybe you talk with them every month, maybe you talk with them every week, maybe you talk with them 3 times a year. But they're there for you, and you trust them, and you know them, and you allow them to help you see things you cannot see. Now, when you do this, when this part of your life is full and just rosy and overflowing, you can probably feel like the impact. Even when I said that, I would feel so much relief. I would feel just so much more faith, so much more relaxed, so much more at ease inside myself, right? All those missing pieces, those longings, those constant questions. Am I doing it right? Am I going in the right direction? Is this going to pay off? Is this going to work out? Those questions get answered when you have this part of your life robust and full. And again, I don't necessarily mean religious, right? Because sometimes we can confuse faith with some of these other things. But you don't necessarily even have to have a faith if you've got a great therapist who's walking you through the pieces of trauma and rebuilding yourself and getting you to feel excellent inside your heart and confident about who you are. Right? You don't even have to have a reader if you've got a great coach who's saying to you every month, what are you doing? Where have you been? Where did you fall off track? What do you need right now? Can we refocus you? Here's what you're capable of. Can you try that? Can you show me? You don't need a coach if you have a good spiritual or a reader, basically a reader, sorry to confuse those, a good reader who can say to you constantly, these wonderful things are coming up for you. Are you prepared for them? What are you going to do as you go into them? Now, granted, most readers don't go that deep, but they can give you a bigger picture that you might not see. Everybody has a specialty. What do you need right now? Like I said, I perform the spiritual aspect, the coaching aspect, and the reader aspect for the people that I work with, and kind of shift seamlessly between them, just depending on what we're talking about and what needs to be done. Not everyone does that, but for me it works. And I want you to find someone in your life that you can lean into who can help you in that same way. Especially now, right? It will give you a support. It'll give you, I was going to say crutches, but that's not quite the image. You're not broken. But it will give you the support. It will give you the extra strength around you to navigate what we are all navigating right now. It is as fundamental as your dentist, right? We want to keep our good teeth until we're old people, right? We also want to keep our faith, our direction, our desire, our passion. That's perhaps even more important than anything, frankly. So I'm going to leave you with that. Consider. And you know what? If you have that person in your life, gosh, just reach out and thank them. Just send them a text right now or whatever it is. Thank you for being this in my life. And I haven't talked to you in a while, and I want to get back in touch with you. And please don't think you're the first one that I'm going to let go of. I see your value. In fact, you're my number one value. No, maybe not your number one. You got family, kids and spouses and parents and so forth, but you're really high up there. So I hope that's inspirational to you. I just wanted to point out that one little missing piece that we often diminish, downplay, and overlook. And I think that when we do that, we are giving ourselves a huge disservice, and it's not your fault for doing that. It's our culture, our society's fault. Our Western culture in particular downplays the need for this and or has created a lot of suspicion, especially when it comes to mega churches and, funding money to them. And right, it's created doubt. So it's not your fault if the priority of this has slid. But I want you to find it again for yourself in your own heart, because it's your lifeline through life. It's what makes you the joyful, wonderful, beautiful grandma or grandpa or great aunt or great uncle or whatever it may be you end up being. Where people say, oh, they live such a good life. They're such a positive person. I just remember them so well. They were the best. Like, yes, don't you want that feeling? Well, then grab that lifeline and fill this gap or hole if it's there. And if it's not, give that person who's filling it for you mega hugs and mega love right now. Okay, with that, I'm going to wrap this little short one up. And just remind you, not to be self-serving here, but I know it sounds funny after I said all that, but I do readings. I do coaching. I've helped men, oh my God, so many people over the years. So if you feel like I could be that person for you, just email me and I'll tell you what's available in different ways. Because again, I want to offer that because I feel it's so valuable. And so many of us need it. So if it's not me, whoever you have, give them a hug and a kiss and a text and find them if you don't have them. All right? With that, I'll see you guys all next time for another episode of Flow Dreaming. Still kind of woo-woo. Big hugs. Lots of love. I'd love the opportunity to work with you one-on-one because this is where I see the most remarkable growth in my clients. When we work privately, it's more than coaching. It's mentorship, energy work, and intuitive guidance. And what I offer, well, it kind of goes beyond coaching. Together, we'll access insights and information you wouldn't typically have, leading to real transformation. We'll start with a life assessment, what you desire, where you've been, and where you're going. Then, we'll align your desires with the universe with a personalized flow dream that you can use over and over. You start with an introductory private session or a deep dive, or of course, we can work together ongoing. Visit flowdreaming.com and search for private sessions, or just reach out and email me. I can't wait to meet you.